Now is time to look at the Baltimore Ravens all-time team. We look at the offense, defense, and special teams. Obviously, this part of the half of the show is the offense. Um, Baltimore Ravens overall, they used to be the Baltimore Colts. They got a pretty good history, for sure, in my honest opinion. But as a Ravens, they've been able to have some success. Now, they were first established on February 9th, 1996, so 21 years ago pretty much, and their first season was 1996. They play right now in M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. They're headquartered in Owings Mills, Maryland. So a part of the National Football League since '96 to present. They were in the AFC from '96 to present, being in the AFC Central from 1996 to 2001, and shifting in 2002 to now to the AFC North. Their team colors are black, purple, metallic, and gold. They have a fight song called the Baltimore Fight Song. Their mascot is Poe. Rise and Conquer as well. And as of right now, they have owner Steve Biscotti, president Dick Cass, general manager Ozzie Newsome, and this is a team that Baltimore Ravens wise, like we're not going to look at the Baltimore Colts wise, but they used to be a team in Baltimore called the Baltimore Colts. They shifted to Indianapolis. Baltimore got finally a team called the Ravens. So very long story short, they both hate each other anyway because the Colts used to be Baltimore. So it's like, you know what I mean. They still have a hatred for the Indianapolis Colts, but I wouldn't say they should be too angry at them. Indianapolis has definitely had less success than Baltimore Ravens have of recent memory. Now, they have won two Super Bowl titles, 2000 and 2012. They also have two AFC titles, 2000 and 2012, as well as four division titles in the AFC North, 2003, 2006, 2011, and 2012. They have 10 playoff appearances stemming from 2000, 2001, 2003, 2006, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, and 2014. They used to play in Memorial Stadium from 1996 to 97, but since 98 they shifted to M&T Bank Stadium. Overall, this is a team that has been able to get fantastic players off the draft. They were able to win Super Bowls. They have been able to really stay as a group connected. They're able to get a quarterback that won in the Super Bowl in Joe Flacco, even though, as of right now, in my honest opinion, as a Baltimore Raven fan, I am not a big fan of him. I think we overpaid him a lot, and he hasn't really shown us that he can win the Super Bowl. It was almost, in my opinion, a big reason of us winning that Super Bowl is it wasn't just luck of that mile-high game, but it was also the fact that we had Jacoby Jones and Quan Bolden, and we had a fantastic defense. And that's something that Baltimore is always thriving on, is defense. They always have really good defensive teams. Offensive-wise is always up for debate. Unfortunately, that's a big reason why they don't get as many Super Bowls or contend for as many Super Bowls as they should. Honestly, if they were to do that, I feel like this is a Baltimore team that I can see competing for a lot of titles. But as of right now, we don't know. They are 5-5. We'll see what happens if they even make the playoffs. But we all know Baltimore Ravens, for a short-term team, has some fantastic Hall of Fame players. All right, so let's get this one thing straight. Baltimore has never had a fantastic history in terms of QBs. It's always been, in my honest opinion, it's always been defense that rules over everything in Baltimore, and really good running game and pretty good offensive linemen. So overall, the QB didn't have as much responsibility in terms of, Trent Dilfer winning that Super Bowl and Joe Flacco winning that Super Bowl. Again, there is some sort of skill to being the QB of the Baltimore Ravens since they won games, and there's definitely some skill, but they've had struggles to really find that guy, that star, and so the guy for QB is going to be Joe Flacco. He's been out there. He has made the most out of his time here in Baltimore. He's had the best numbers out there so far, and that's saying something because Joe Flacco definitely is not elite at all. Like he's something else. Let me tell you. He either has an on day or an off day, mostly off. But I mean, you know, he gets ridiculed a lot. I think he's overall he's okay. But honestly though, like for a guy that throws a lot of interceptions, and barely even actually never has had a 30 plus passing touchdown season. It's almost like, well, what kind of player is this guy? So, but overall, yeah, I think he's going to be a good leader. I mean, he's gonna be calm and cool. He's gonna be Joe Flacco. It's just, I believe this team will be good based on what he has around him, and I think he will succeed as a QB because I think he's gonna get protected and he's gonna have a lot of weapons, as you'll see. Now, the thing I really enjoy is their fullbacks. They've always had some pretty tough fullbacks, some pretty good fullbacks. And I'm going to go with LaRon McClain. The guy can run. The guy easily can run. He can catch, and he's really good at blocking. Great blocker. So overall, you're going to see a guy that honestly, is going to be consistently tough, and he's going to go at it and fight for you. And he's definitely going to do a great job blocking in my opinion, one of the most underrated running backs in NFL history, all time for sure. Just overall fantastic running back that you'll see. But LaRon McClain, he gets you that. He's like that X factor that he can do a lot of things, not just block. He's able to really be essentially another weapon for Joe Flacco. And I do believe that his entire impact on this team will be huge. I really do believe that. I think he's going to fit right in, and he's going to produce a lot. And I can't wait to see LaRon McClain and Joe Flacco together once again. It'll be very, very fun to watch. So, running back Jamal Lewis. I'm gonna have Jamal Lewis over Ray Rice. Jamal Lewis just had more of an impact, I guess you can say. I mean, Ray Rice was fantastic, but you're looking at Jamal Lewis that had like over 2,000 yards rushing. I mean, this is a guy that at one point was the best running back in the entire league. Like overall, injuries and stuff like that, he just started slowing down. But this is a guy that can run the ball and can catch the ball, and actually is a pretty tough running back. So in my honest opinion, yes, I would expect him to be on here, being an All-Pro, being a Pro Bowler. Again, Ray Rice, fantastic player, don't get me wrong. But I got to give it to Jamal Lewis. He is the essential Ravens running back. He's tough, he's gritty, and he's ready to get it out there. So in my opinion, having McClain and Lewis in that backfield, that's pretty scary in my opinion. Wide receiver, Derek Mason, one of my all-time favorite wide receivers in the game to really watch when I was growing up pretty much. A guy that's an All-Pro, that was a two-time Pro Bowler, a guy that came out of Michigan State that got drafted in the 4th round, and he proved his worthiness of being a part of pretty much being a Raven. And he, for many, many years, for the 6 years that he was a part of it, 8 years in Tennessee, but both teams, he was able to really just produce quality numbers. And I mean, he almost has 1,000 receptions. He's bound to be in the Hall of Fame. In my opinion, I would love to see Derek Mason in the Hall of Fame. I think he really deserves it. But yeah, no, this is a guy that, honestly, in my opinion, Derek Mason, two-time Pro Bowl and an All-Pro, a guy that, could get many receptions. Has had 100-plus receptions in a year before. So this is a guy that can dominate, and honestly, Joe Flacco knows him. He played with him before he pretty much started going down. But, Joe Flacco did play with him for about 3 years or so, 2 years. So that connection won't take that long in terms of, because it was one of his favorite targets to go to for Joe. So honestly, Derek Mason, Joe Flacco connecting again, that should be fantastic. And at the same time, he's going to have another wideout at the other side that Joe knows too well as well. So I think having those familiar faces will definitely be a comfort zone for Joe. And I think that's what he needs, is players that he knows the chemistry. He's practiced with them many times. And and that's what I think can definitely cause him to have less interceptions, is having familiar faces and having those reads just a little bit more on point. Now on the other side, you got to have another wideout, of course. You know, you got to think of, all right, well, who's going to pair up with Derek Mason? Along with Mason's ability to catch, how about having Torrey Smith, one of the fastest guys out here, pretty much for a long time in the league. Torrey Smith has been one of the fastest guys, competing with Mike Wallace and all them. But this is a guy that, yeah, he can really have pretty good numbers. Honestly, if you give him the ball, he's definitely a guy that's gonna run pretty nice routes. He's gonna burn them. He's a fast dude. So I think having him definitely pretty much opens up for a lot. And so honestly, Torrey Smith, Derek Mason together, pretty great tandem in my opinion. Again, Flacco knows Torrey, so those, they've worked together before. Really, honestly, not much to say other than this is a very good passing attack as of right now. I really enjoy what they got going here, and we'll just see how it all plans out. But I already enjoy it. Tight end Todd Heap. Honestly, I'm pretty sure he's a fan favorite out there in Baltimore. You got the Dennis Pittas in the world, you got Ed Dixon, you have those kind of guys, of course, that have played the game. And of course, the general manager is Ozzie Newsome. Ozzie Newsome was not a Baltimore Raven; he was a Cleveland Brown, so he's not going to be obviously on this list. But you're looking at Todd Heap, a guy that's a big target. Again, another guy that has played also with Joe Flacco. So honestly, I'm putting him with people that he's been able to honestly throw to. He's been able to have a connection with. So in my honest opinion, with these guys compared to what he has to deal with now, where he's still trying to figure out like what to do, because they drafted some receivers, they've gotten some wide receivers. Like, all right, well, he looks good. Like, having Jeremy Maclin there is fantastic, but you know what I mean, like the ability of trying to kind of have chemistry with them, that's hard, sometimes. So like you can't blame the athlete for that. They have to work at trying to make sure that they all get connected and they all work together. And you're looking at a guy that Joe Flacco that knows how to play with Derek, how to play with Torrey, and now he can throw to Todd Heap knowing where he wants it, which routes to get him. It's really good pinpointing everything. And in my honest opinion, I really enjoy the weapons he has with the whole great backfield there and a great wideout and great wideouts, as well as a great big tight end. That's, like I said, all these guys are not afraid to block, they're not afraid to be physical, but also they have enough finesse to take over a game with their speed or their hands or their legs. So honestly, I really enjoy this offense. I think this offense is going to be underrated, but underrated, it's going to be very good offense nonetheless. So expect nothing but really good things from this team. Left tackle Jonathan Ogden. You got to start with the offensive line. It's one of my favorite offensive lines is the Baltimore Ravens. I really enjoy this offensive line. And you're going to start with trying to get past left tackle Jonathan Ogden. Good luck. It's an 11-time Pro Bowler. It's a 4-time All-Pro. He's won the Super Bowl. Is a Hall of Famer. Is a giant. And pretty much he's played almost over 200 games. And really was a security blanket. Really, not many people can get past him, and that's about it. This guy is huge, and good luck trying to get past him, honestly. So I really enjoy this entirety of this offense, and this offensive line I think will be fantastic, starting with Ogden. Left guard, Edwin Mulatalo. Mulatalo, guard, about 6'3", around there. A man that won the Super Bowl, was a part of that Super Bowl team in 2000. A guy that played pretty much in that year all snaps pretty much. You're looking at he played and started all 16 games. A guy that was reliable, a reliable guard, physical, and honestly, playing 8 years there in Baltimore, he was a sight to see, honestly, in my opinion. Just a very good offensive line. I think paired up with Ogden, those two guys, they're definitely gonna wreck shit. They're gonna wreck some stuff, and I think it's gonna be exciting football. I think it's gonna be tough, hard, gritty football. But nonetheless, it's gonna be football nonetheless, and they're gonna prove their dominance out there in the field. So I really enjoy this. Now the center, Matt Burke. You're gonna need a tough center. Matt Burke is as tough as they get. This is a guy that pretty much was drafted in the 6th round from Harvard, and became a six-time Pro Bowler, became a Super Bowl champion, was a very key piece to this Minnesota Vikings offensive line, came to Baltimore, and in 4 years, really, he established himself still as one of the best centers in the game. Overall, just a guy that barely missed games, a guy that played in over 200 games and started in over 180 games. So this is a guy that's seen a lot of action, has seen playoff action before. Definitely, like I said, he's been there. And yes, this is a wonderful guy, but he's tough. He's a tough-nosed dude, and honestly, you're not going to get past him much. He's a smart guy. Matt Burke has played with as well with Flacco, so I think that's very, very important. Center and QB connection, and I think because they know each other so well, I believe that those two guys they'll serve some pretty nice snaps together. And overall, I just really enjoy this line as of right now. Right guard Marshall Yanda. Right guard, I'm telling you, Marshall Yanda, six-time Pro Bowler, two-time All-Pro. He is going to be listed, in my honest opinion, as one of the best to ever do it in terms of guards to ever play for Baltimore, but also he's going to be in the question of best guards of all time in NFL history. I really do believe that. I think Marshall Yanda has that respect, and he's only 33. He's still going. He's still, he's still doing his thing. He's a tough guy. He's going to protect. He's going to protect Joe Flacco no matter what. He knows him, of course. They played together. They still do to this day, of course. So this is a guy that he's been to the Pro Bowl many times. Been an All-Pro. He knows. He knows what he's doing. He's a smart football player. And really, in my honest opinion, this is scary. You have Matt Burke right there in the center. You have the two guards and Mulatalu and Marshall Yanda, which I think is incredible. And then at the same time, you got Jonathan Ogden out there, and then the other tackle, which we will see, another scary dude. So in my honest opinion, this is a line that I don't see Joe Flacco getting sacked much. I don't see many tackle for losses. I see the running game very strong. I could definitely see Jamal Lewis getting 2,000 yards with his offensive line. And at the same time, you're looking at a team that offensively, I think they're going to get the hang of it, and they're going to put up points, and it's going to be up to the defense to do their part. But I think Baltimore has a pretty strong offense as of right now. They have a strong case for it. So, and your other tackle is going to be Michael Orr, right tackle Michael Orr. If you see the blind side, that's who he is. No, he hasn't had the respect of being a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro, but knowing this guy, he's going to protect the guy at a very great rate. He's consistent, and he barely misses any games. He didn't miss a single game when he was a Baltimore Raven. So definitely the ability of not being injured, that's definitely a plus. And like I said, a guy that's huge. He is a giant, and gentle giant, but when he gets on the field, he's an aggressive giant. He's a scary giant. So honestly, him along with pairing up with Ogden and just having this entire line as it is, this is scary. It's very scary to see, and I can't wait to see how this will turn out. In my honest opinion, this is going to be scary. It's a scary unit, and yeah, I truly believe that this team is going to succeed in many levels. So offensively wise, you know what this team is all about. But you can tell me your opinion on what you think of this team overall, and if you think they can go far.